How to move like a king. Command your energy, environment, enemies, empire. Stop. Before you press pause, before you scroll away, ask yourself one question. Are you tired of being overlooked? Are you tired of working hard, staying loyal, staying quiet, and watching men with less than you climb higher, move faster, and take everything you deserved? Then stay, because what I'm about to tell you, they don't teach in schools, they don't preach in churches, and they never post on motivational pages. This is the knowledge of kings, not the soft, comfortable knowledge of men who want to feel good. The cold, precise, dangerous knowledge of men who want to win. Machiavelli didn't write for the weak. He wrote for the man who understands that the world is not a fairy tale, it is a battlefield. And on a battlefield, the kind man doesn't survive. The calculated man does. You want power? Real power? Then you better be willing to think like a king before you can move like one. Drop the word untouchable in the comments right now if you're ready to receive what's coming, because this is only the beginning. Command your energy. Energy is not motivation. Motivation is for boys who need a speech to get moving. Energy is different. Energy is architecture. It is the invisible structure you build around yourself, that people feel before you speak, before you enter, before you even arrive. Kings don't chase energy, they generate it. You want to command a room? Stop performing for it. The man who needs approval is already defeated. The man who owns his stillness, his silence, his unhurried presence, he owns the room without asking. Your energy is a weapon, and like every weapon, it requires discipline. Stop leaking it. Stop giving it to people who drain it. Stop explaining yourself to people who have already decided not to understand you. Protect your focus like it's currency, because it is. The lion doesn't pace nervously. He sits, he watches, he waits, and when he moves, everyone knows it. That is the energy of a king. Controlled, deliberate, magnetic. Comment "I am the energy" below if you feel this in your bones. Now let's go deeper. Command your environment. Listen carefully. Your environment is not just your surroundings. It is your programming. Every room you sit in, every voice you allow near you, every conversation you tolerate, every person you call a friend, they are all quietly, invisibly, constantly rewriting the code of who you are. Most men never realize this. They wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why their ambitions fade. They wonder why, year after year, they remain exactly where they started. The answer is not laziness. The answer is environment. You cannot grow beyond the ceiling of the world you live inside. Machiavelli understood this with brutal clarity. A prince who surrounds himself with flatterers, men who tell him only what he wants to hear, is a prince already marching toward his own destruction. The comfortable lie is more dangerous than the painful truth. Always. So audit your environment with the eyes of a general, not a guest. Who sits at your table? Do they challenge you or comfort you? Do they push your thinking or simply agree with everything you say? Comfort is a slow poison. It feels like safety. It is stagnation. Look at your physical space. Chaos in your environment breeds chaos in your mind. Order breeds clarity. Clarity breeds power. This is not philosophy. This is mechanics. Control what enters your ears. Control what enters your eyes. Control what enters your mind. Because the man who controls his inputs controls his outputs, and the man who controls his outputs controls his destiny. Your environment is either building you or burying you. There is no middle ground. Comment "I control my environment" below, right now. The kings are listening. Command your enemies. Let me tell you something most men are too afraid to admit. You have enemies. Not maybe, not possibly. You have them. Right now, walking around in your life wearing the face of a colleague, a friend, a well-wisher, smiling at you in public, undermining you in private, celebrating your setbacks with the same mouth they use to congratulate you. This is not paranoia. This is pattern recognition. Machiavelli said it plainly: men will forgive the loss of a father sooner than the loss of their inheritance. Human nature is not romantic. It is territorial. It is competitive. And the man who refuses to see this doesn't become peaceful. He becomes prey. So how does a king handle his enemies? Not with rage. Rage is for men who have lost control. Not with public confrontation. That is theater, and theater benefits the audience, not the king. A king handles his enemies with silence and strategy. First, identify them. Watch who celebrates when you stumble. Watch who goes quiet when you win. Watch who asks questions disguised as concern. The enemy rarely announces himself. He reveals himself in patterns. Second, never reveal that you know. The moment your enemy knows you see him, you lose your advantage. Let him believe his mask is working. Let him grow comfortable. A comfortable enemy is a careless enemy. Third, outmaneuver. Don't outfight. Fighting an enemy directly gives him power, attention, and sympathy. Instead, build so far above him that engaging with him becomes beneath you. The best revenge is not destruction. It is elevation. Become so powerful, so untouchable, so undeniable that his attacks bounce off you like rain off stone. Your enemies are not your obstacles. They are your sharpening stones. Every man who doubted you, every room that dismissed you, every opportunity that was stolen from you, use it all as fuel. Cold, quiet, unstoppable fuel. Comment "my enemies make me stronger" below, and mean it. Because we're just getting started. Command your empire. Now we talk about empire. Not metaphor, not motivation. Empire. The real, tangible, undeniable structure of power that you build around your life, your wealth, your influence, your legacy, your name. The thing that outlasts your presence in a room. The thing that works while you sleep. The thing that makes men respect you before you speak and remember you long after you leave. Most men never build an empire because they never decide to. Read that again. They wait for permission. They wait for the right moment. They wait for conditions to be perfect, and perfect conditions never come. The man who waits for the storm to pass never learns to move in the rain. Kings don't wait for perfect conditions. They create conditions. Machiavelli was ruthlessly clear on this. Fortune, he said, favors the bold. But more than boldness, fortune favors the prepared. The man who has studied the terrain. The man who has built his foundations quietly, while others were distracted by noise. The man who moves with intention when everyone else moves with impulse. Your empire begins with one decision. The decision to stop building someone else's vision and start architecting your own. Look at your time, your most non-renewable resource. Where is it going? To distractions that generate nothing? To relationships that drain everything? To habits that slowly, silently dismantle the man you are trying to become? Time is the currency of empire. Waste it and you are not just losing hours, you are losing territory. Your empire has 4 pillars: mind, money, network, reputation. Sharpen your mind daily, because a dull mind builds a dull empire. Stack your money with patience and precision, because financial weakness is the fastest road to dependency, and dependency is the enemy of power. Build your network with selectivity, not desperation. One powerful alliance is worth 1,000 shallow connections. And guard your reputation like a fortress, because it takes decades to build and one moment of weakness to destroy. Here is what Machiavelli knew that modern men have forgotten. Power is not seized in one dramatic moment. It is accumulated, quietly, consistently, brick by brick, decision by decision, day after day, until one morning the world wakes up and realizes you have built something they cannot ignore, cannot bypass, and cannot touch. That is empire. Not loud, not reckless, inevitable. Comment, "I am building my empire," below, and let the universe hear it. Your throne is waiting, but only if you keep moving. The mask, the man. Let me show you something uncomfortable. The man the world sees, and the man you actually are, must never be the same man. Not because you are a fraud, not because you are weak, but because exposure is vulnerability. And vulnerability in a world of wolves is not courage. It is an open wound. Machiavelli understood this better than any philosopher who came before or after him. He watched princes fall. He studied the pattern. And the pattern was always the same. The man who revealed too much, his fears, his plans, his desires, his doubts, was always the man who was eventually outmaneuvered, undermined, and destroyed. The mask is not deception. The mask is armor. Every king in history wore one. Every general, every emperor, every man who ever built something that lasted beyond his lifetime understood that the public face and the private mind must operate on completely different frequencies. What does this mean practically? It means you stop announcing your moves before you make them. The man who tells everyone his plans is unconsciously seeking validation, and validation seeking is the signature of an insecure mind. Move in silence. Let your results be the announcement. It means you control your emotional display with surgical precision. This is not about becoming cold or disconnected. It is about understanding that your emotions, when displayed unfiltered, are a map, and a map in the wrong hands leads your enemies directly to your most vulnerable coordinates. Notice the men who never seem rattled, the men who absorb pressure without cracking, the men who smile calmly when others expect them to break. Those men are not emotionless. They are disciplined. There is a canyon of difference between the two. It means you become a student of perception. How do others see you? Not because their opinion defines you, it does not, but because perception, in the theater of power, is reality. A king who is perceived as weak, regardless of his actual strength, will be tested as if he is weak. Manage the perception. Control the narrative. Write your own story before someone else writes it for you. The mask protects the mission. The mask protects the empire. The mask protects you until you are powerful enough that you no longer need it. And here is the darkest truth of all. The most dangerous man in any room is not the loudest. He is not the most aggressive. He is the one sitting quietly in the corner, watching everything, revealing nothing, and already 3 moves ahead of everyone else. Be that man. Comment, "I wear the mask." The mask doesn't wear me below. Say it like you mean it. Because from this point forward, you do. Part 7. The philosophy of cold thinking. Emotion is human. Cold thinking is power. And before you misunderstand, this is not about becoming heartless. This is not about abandoning your humanity. This is about something far more sophisticated, far more demanding, far more rare. This is about learning to think correctly when everything around you is designed to make you think emotionally. Because here is what your enemies, your competitors, and this world at large are counting on. They are counting on you to react, to be provoked, to make decisions from a place of anger, fear, pride, or pain. Because a man who is reacting emotionally is a man who is no longer thinking strategically. And a man who is no longer thinking strategically is a man who can be controlled. Machiavelli built his entire philosophy on one foundational observation. Men are predictable, not because they are stupid, but because they are emotional. They act from ego. They act from wound. They act from desire and fear and the desperate need to be seen as powerful even when they are crumbling inside. And the man who understands this pattern, who studies it, who masters it, holds the keys to navigating any room, any negotiation, any conflict with absolute precision. So what does cold thinking actually look like? It looks like pausing before responding. That single breath between stimulus and response, that is where your power lives. That pause is not weakness. That pause is the difference between a king's decision and a fool's reaction. It looks like separating facts from feelings. When a situation arises, strip it. Remove the emotion, remove the ego, remove the personal. Ask only these questions. What is actually happening here? What are my options? What outcome serves my mission most effectively? That is cold thinking. Clean, surgical, effective. It looks like playing the long game when everyone else is playing for today. Emotional men want immediate satisfaction, immediate revenge, immediate validation, immediate results. The cold thinker asks a different question. Not what feels good now, but what wins in the end. It looks like studying people without judgment. Most men look at others through the lens of how they feel about them. They like someone, so they trust them completely. They dislike someone, so they dismiss them entirely. Cold thinking does neither. It observes, it analyzes, it extracts useful information from every source, friend or enemy, without letting personal feeling corrupt the data. Here is something that will disturb the average man and liberate the exceptional one. Your greatest emotional triggers are your greatest liabilities. The things that make you react without thinking: pride, insecurity, the need for respect, the fear of being disrespected. These are the levers your enemies use to move you like a puppet. Until you identify them. Until you own them. Until you look at each trigger and say, I see you, I understand you, and you no longer control me. That is the moment you stop being a piece on the board. That is the moment you become the one moving the pieces. Cold thinking is not a personality trait. It is a discipline, built through practice, through pressure, through choosing clarity over comfort every single day until it becomes your natural state. The average man feels first and thinks second. The king thinks first, always. And sometimes the king doesn't think out loud at all. He simply watches and waits. And when the moment arrives, he moves with the kind of precision that looks, to everyone watching, less like strategy and more like destiny. Train your mind to be colder than your circumstances, and you will never again be at the mercy of them. Comment "My mind is my weapon" below, right now. Because the men who understand this are already separating themselves from the crowd. The question is whether you are one of them. Part 8. The Dark Laws of Loyalty. Loyalty. It is the most beautiful word in the language of power, and the most dangerous. Not because loyalty itself is wrong, but because most men have never been taught the difference between true loyalty and performed loyalty, between the ally who will stand with you when the walls are closing in, and the ally who was only ever there for what standing with you provided. This distinction is not cynicism. This is survival. Machiavelli wrote with cold precision about the nature of men and allegiance. He observed that men are loyal to those who benefit them. Remove the benefit, and watch how quickly the loyalty reveals itself as nothing more than a calculated transaction dressed in the language of brotherhood. Does this mean trust no one? No, it means trust correctly. The first dark law of loyalty is this: never confuse proximity with allegiance. The man who is always around you is not necessarily the man who is always for you. Closeness is geography. Loyalty is character. And character is only ever revealed under pressure, never in comfort. Watch what men do when you are losing, not when you are winning. When you are winning, everyone is loyal. When the money is flowing, the power is visible, the momentum is undeniable. Friends multiply like shadows at sunset. But when the tide turns, when the setback arrives, when the storm hits and the ship begins to rock, that is when you see clearly. That is when the mask comes off, not yours, theirs. The second dark law of loyalty is this: reward loyalty visibly and punish betrayal invisibly. When a man proves his loyalty, his real loyalty, tested loyalty, costly loyalty, reward him, acknowledge him, elevate him, make it known within your circle that allegiance has value in your empire. This is not sentimentality, this is architecture. You are building a culture around you that attracts and retains men of genuine character. But when a man betrays you, and eventually one will, do not explode, do not confront publicly, do not make him your enemy in the open. Simply begin the quiet, patient, systematic process of removing his access, his information, his proximity, his influence within your world. Let him slowly realize, without dramatic announcement, that he has been excised from the empire. Cold, clean. Final, the third dark law of loyalty is this: your loyalty to yourself must always come first. This is the law that makes weak men uncomfortable. They were taught that self-loyalty is selfishness, that putting your mission, your values, your vision above the feelings of others is somehow a moral failing. This is the most crippling lie ever told to ambitious men. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. You cannot lead men while abandoning yourself. You cannot build an empire while continuously sacrificing your foundation to keep others comfortable. Loyalty to self is not arrogance. It is the prerequisite of everything else. Know your values. Protect them without apology. When you are asked to compromise the core of who you are, for acceptance, for approval, for the comfort of someone who benefits from your smallness, the answer is always no. A king who betrays himself for the loyalty of others has already lost the only kingdom that truly matters, the one inside. Guard it. The fourth dark law, and perhaps the most powerful of all: never tell a man everything. Not your closest ally, not your most trusted advisor, not the person who has proven themselves repeatedly. There is a level of your strategy, your vision, your true intentions that belongs only to you, not because you distrust them, because power, at its highest level, is a solitary discipline. The final decisions, the deepest motivations, the ultimate direction of your empire, these live in the vault of your own mind. Shared with no one. Diluted by no one. Compromised by no one. The most powerful man in any room is not the one who knows the most. He is the one about whom the least is known. Become that man. Comment loyalty is earned, never assumed below. And remember, the men reading these comments alongside you right now, some of them are future allies. Some of them are future competitors. Learn to tell the difference. That lesson is the entire point. Part 9. The silence of the powerful. There is a weapon so powerful, so devastatingly effective, so completely misunderstood by the average man, that most people walk past it every single day without ever picking it up. That weapon is silence. Not the silence of a man who has nothing to say. Not the silence of weakness, of fear, of social anxiety or insecurity. The silence of the powerful is something else entirely. It is deliberate. It is loaded. It is the silence of a man who understands that every word he speaks is a card revealed, and that the man who reveals fewer cards controls the entire game. We live in a world addicted to noise. Everyone is talking. Everyone is posting. Everyone is announcing, explaining, defending, justifying, performing. The digital age has turned self-expression into a compulsion, and compulsion, in the language of power, is always a vulnerability. The man who cannot stop talking cannot stop leaking. And the man who cannot stop leaking will eventually run dry. Machiavelli observed that the prince who speaks too freely arms his enemies with his own words. Every unnecessary confession is a weapon handed to someone who may one day use it against you. Every premature announcement is an invitation for interference. Every emotional outburst documented and displayed is a permanent record of your weakest moments, available to anyone who wishes to study your patterns and exploit your pressure points. So, understand this with absolute clarity. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is density. The man who speaks only when necessary, whose words are rare, chosen and precise, commands a different kind of attention than the man who fills every space with sound. When the quiet man finally speaks, people lean in, they pay attention. They assign weight to his words because his words have been proven to carry weight. He does not dilute his voice with volume, he concentrates it with restraint. This is the first dimension of powerful silence, the silence of speech. But there is a second dimension that goes even deeper, the silence of reaction. When you are insulted, stay silent. When you are provoked, stay silent. When someone attempts to bait you into an emotional response, into a public confrontation, into a display of wounded pride, stay silent, because here is what happens in that silence that your enemy never anticipated. You force them to sit in the discomfort of their own aggression. You deny them the reaction they came for. You reveal, without a single word, that they do not have the power to move you. And nothing communicates dominance more completely than immovability. The third dimension of powerful silence is the silence of presence. The man who walks into a room and immediately starts performing, talking loudly, making jokes, seeking connection through words, is a man who needs the room's approval to feel secure. The man who walks in and simply exists, unhurried, undemanding, occupying his space with absolute comfort, generates a gravity that performance never could. You have felt this before. You have been in the presence of someone who said very little and yet commanded everything. That is not charisma in the conventional sense. That is the physical manifestation of a man who is completely at home in himself, who needs nothing from the room, who gives nothing away unnecessarily. That quality cannot be faked. It can only be built. Built through the daily practice of choosing silence over reaction, choosing observation over performance, choosing depth over display. Built through the patient, unglamorous, deeply powerful discipline of learning to be comfortable in your own stillness, even when the world around you is in chaos. Because here is the final truth about silence that most men never discover. The loudest person in the room is almost never the most powerful. Power does not announce itself. It does not need to. It simply exists, undeniable, immovable, like a mountain that does not explain itself to the wind. Become the mountain. Comment silence is my power below. Say nothing else, just those 3 words, and prove the point.